All right, that was so efficient. It's a nick of a time. You see the red button. That is to say, it has begun recording. And today, as we have said during the warm up today, we are going to make a connection once again. Okay, with our lesson yesterday, which is about the triangle that we did together, wherein we put all different living things such as the producer, the consumer, and the one on top, the predator. We're going to use the same triangle, the same color coding. Eventually, we're going to ignore the color coding. We're going to look at the position or the location of each group of organism in a triangle. No other shape, but it's all about the triangle. All right. Now, make certain that everything is more or less crystal clear to you before we move on to the next step. That's why we're going to take a look briefly once again on what we have done yesterday. So the goal today is to be able to have a clear understanding on who is eating what, where are the energy coming from, or where is the energy of an organism is coming from, and how much do they get. Isn't it when we eat, we want to know how much we take in, right? Some people are even counting calories. Those muscle builders, bodybuilders, they count the number of calories, meaning how much food they put in their body. All right. So, and I think it's a good thing as well for healthy reason rather than for eating a lot. Right. But as I said a while ago, there are many occasions that the food we eat may not be enough amount of energy that we need. Like for instance, the example during the warm up, I ask you, if will you be happy and satisfied if you are only given 5 Pringles for a whole day? It's a big tube of Pringle and there's only 5 Pringles. 5 Pringles, kind of like 5 pieces of Cheetos. I think some of you will think, that may not be even enough for me. And somebody said, I think it was Natalia, it's not even a meal. Right now, today we are going. That's hilarious. Which is true, right? We have to have the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner, and then we spread them out evenly. And the food we eat are coming from variety of sources. And each food we eat, for instance, once again, type in the chat. What is this? Timestamp 1207. I need to see your name. Tell me again, what is this? Timestamp 1207, back to normal again. I see your name, participation. I will look for your name with the word cereal at 1207. Excellent. We know during our warm up that this Fruit Loops cereal came from plant. That's why, in my opinion, it's pretty healthy because it's plant based. All right, no oil, not much of it. All right, so and it's somebody said a while ago, and it's made up of who said it? If you were the one who said it, please type it once again. What is this made up of? Yes, Natalia, excellent. The starch. And we have learned starch as a product or result of photosynthesis. Way back, weeks ago. We even extracted a the green chemical called the chlorophyll from the leaf of a plant as an evidence that the green collect the light from the plant, meaning the light from the sun to the plant through the leaf for by using their leaves as an I gotta be careful because the water is so filled up here for photosynthesis like the mung bean. I think I told you why I added more water because I'm going to leave this plant by themselves all throughout the holiday, making certain that they are well drained. So make certain if you have planted your germination experiment, which you shared, and you are going somewhere during the holiday, make certain it is well drained. They need water to keep on growing and developing. Let me wipe off the water splatter. Right. Yeah, because I have the leaves or organs of photosynthesis. Right. So do you remember this? Type in the room. At 12:09, I will see yes or no. Do you remember how did we do this and what was the lesson? Yes, at 12:09, I will see your name either yes or no. Yes, we're not going into nitty gritty details of this because it is a past lesson, but we are making connection. They're all together, pieces of a puzzle, and then you get a big picture. Just like what we are going to do now, all right? So, cereal came from plant and starch, and we get energy from the cereal. And a while ago during the warm up, we said every every food we eat coming from a particular source, we only get a certain percent of energy from the source. For instance, if I eat a cup of cereal from plant, only a little percent of energy from the plant I get. Could you tell me again what percent of energy do we get from plant? At timestamp 1210, yes, the 10% only. And beginning now, we're going to call this lesson the 10% rule. All right? A while ago, I just asked you to type 10%. Now we're going to add the word rule. 10% rule, meaning to say it's got to be this. Isn't it? Whenever it's a rule, it's going to be this. It's going to be that. No other way but this way. For this rule, there's no other percent but 10. Meaning to say, the amount of energy I get from cereal, which is originally from plant, I only get 10% of the plant's energy. And the rest of the 90%, the plant use it for their own purposes, for growing, for developing, and many more. Similarly, a hamburger, 10% you get when you eat hamburger from a cow. The 90%, the cow have to keep it for themselves because they got to walk, to run, okay, to look for food, to reproduce, meaning their daily activities. Kind of like when you give somebody, you want to make sure before you give something to others, you have something for you, right? In my case, I will not give everything I have to people and then I will end up nothing. It's not a good giving. A good giving or a good way of sharing is to give something that you know that when you give this to someone, you still have food on your table. Right. We want to make sure that because I need to survive too. So that is good and wise giving. Just like plants. They give us 10%, they keep the 90% for their own purpose. Are we clear so far? We are making connection to the real world here about the 10%. Tell me, we're not there yet. We haven't gone through the step by step of the lesson, but tell me, are we making sense here? Timestamp 1213. I need to see your name. Are we making sense here? Am I making sense here? Timestamp 1213. It's okay to say no, all right? Because we have our yeah. A lot of people saying yes. At 1213, the response is either yes or no. I told you I look at the list. Yeah. This is very helpful for me because I will not remember who did it. And whenever I turn this off, I will not be able to get the information. But the good thing is that Google Meet send me email with your names, the time, the date, and what did you say. So I can go back and give you credit or no credit if I don't see your name. Oh, Karen left the meeting. Hopefully it's just a disconnection. Karen again? Karen always leave us. Did you notice that? I already connected with her. Hopefully it's a technical problem. Hopefully she tells me the reason why. Hmm. Did you notice that? She more often than not we see her technical problem. Okay, are you still with me? Type in the room. Excellent. At 12:14, you are still with me. Lovely. Excellent. Now, let me refocus the camera to the yellow uh, mobile counter. All right, so please pay close attention. And I know I will do it a little bit faster than be yesterday because the first part will be a quick, simple recall. Make sure I have everything. Remember this, she will eventually shape like a triangle. It is a triangle. Let me refocus. Okay, in our lesson yesterday, we had the bottom of the triangle for the plants. And they have the big, and this is the biggest part of the triangle. And of course, we know that plants are the primary producers or the producers. They can make their own food. On top of the yellow is the blue part of the triangle. And these are the consumers. And we know that the consumers, in our lesson in the past, these are the plant eaters, the plant and animal eaters, and the animal eaters. There are different kinds of consumers. So there is food for everybody. Alright, just like when you go to a buffet restaurant, isn't it? If you go buffet, there is food practically for everybody. You can select whatever you fancy, whatever you want. You can select. Unlike, let's say, oh, let's go to an Italian restaurant. Primarily, you will just gonna see pasta, not a lot of selection. All right, but if you are very picky and you love it, then you go Italian, or you go to Mexican, or you go to let us say a Lebanese restaurant, for instance. I love Lebanese food. But if you want to have a lot variety of selection, where go to a buffet. So this for consumers, they do have a lot of choices. All right. And the last but not the least, anybody remember what's the top of the triangle? What is in the top of the triangle? Let me put it in so you tell me. What is at the tip of the triangle? What is at the tip of the triangle? Please, you got to type the word. Tell me what is at the tip of the triangle. I'm waiting. I must see your name. Timestamp. Hold on. Timestamp 11:17. Right? Predators. I'm sorry, 12:17. Yes. Right. The predators. At timestamp 12:17, your name should have appeared with the word predator. Okay? So we're refreshing, reviewing. Eventually, this goes into your long-term memory. And eventually, we will no longer use a color code in here. It's going to be so quick for you because we're doing another practice today. But in addition to the practice, we're going to look for another set of new example. Some of them I will be reusing, plus we're going to include the 10%, as I said. Let's get some example. I have handy dandy example here. So most of them are new, others are similar. Okay, so let's start with the producers, which are the plants. So in this case, We have the producers like the cotton grass. P stands for a producer. Primary producers. There are the base at the bottom of the triangle, and they are the most in number because the biggest part or the largest part of the triangle. What I have here is the okay, an herbivore. Okay, mostly herbivore. So this belongs to the consumer part, which is the blue of the triangle. These are the snow hare. Of course, from the word itself, they live in snow. And then we have the brown bear. Mm-hmm. We have the brown bear is our ultimate predator and can kill this animal for food. All right, because it's a predator. A predator is any organism that is big enough to directly attack any other organism, no matter what. They will directly attack it, immobilize it, try their best to eat as much as they can. And I asked you, and you said yesterday that lion is considered as the king of the jungle. Mhm. And how many lions do we see in a jungle as compared to birds in the jungle? Which do you think is more and you can see it very often? Lion in the jungle or worms? What will you see more? Lion or worms? Type in the chat. What would you see more? Where will you see more? What would you see more in the jungle? Will you be able to see more lion and less worms, or mm, more worms, less lion? Type in the room. What do you think? I'm waiting. Thoughts, 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 thoughts. At 12:21, 12:21, which do you think is more? Will there be more dangerous animals? There are more worms, right? Yes. There's more little critters compared to the predators. That's why when you go to safari, for instance, I had not mentioned this to you. Let's say, for example, I went to some safaris in Africa. So my purpose is to see lion. Very rare I see lion. Very, very rare. All right. Or what they call those big five. Very, it's hard to find. You have to be at least you have to camp several days to do safari for you to see one of those big five. One of them is a lion, elephant, rhinoceros. Quite difficult. But the simple ones like gazelle, rodents, rats, for instance, birds, the small ones, they're fairly common. But for these aggressive organisms that are predator, they're quite difficult to see. They're hiding. Ah, they're taking their time and they're taking their chances and finding out who around I can directly attack and use them as food. And they're powerful. Okay? And they are the predators. They are still consumers though, because they cannot make their own food. They are helpless without food source. Unlike plant, they are even helpful, aren't they? They can help themselves and they help us by providing us the food that we need. Are you still with me? Tell me at 12:23. I must see your name. Yes, meaning to say you are with me. Yeah. Alright. Let's continue on. Put this predator back. And you will notice that this is the smallest part of the triangle. It's gonna look big because there are some information here, which we used yesterday. All right, any animals that directly attack other animals for chicha, for food. All right, chicha means food in another language. Mhm. In the Philippines, when you say chicha, it's a slang for food. Can I have some chicha? Meaning, can I have some food? All right. Okay, let me continue. Let me refocus. And I'm going to take the pictures away so we make room for the other pieces of the illustrations that I will use for you to see it very well. Because listening to me ain't gonna work well. But if you listen and you look what I'm doing, put them together, you will be able to remember if you focus. All right, let me refocus and take these examples away. Okay, let me use other examples, other pieces, I would say. Now, at this point in time, we are going to focus on who's eating what and how much do they get. In other words, where are they getting the energy from? Because food is all about energy. Where are the organism or the living thing getting the energy from, and how much of the energy are they getting from the food source? And we know it's already 10%, right? So when I ask you how much, the answer is 10%, all right? Not 90. If I ask you how much energy they get, 10%. If I ask you how much energy is left for the lion before they are being killed for meat, 90%. Or how much energy is left for the cow before they are being slaughtered for hamburger, 90%. And then the 10% is for others to use, just like people. All right? Let me continue. Let me focus the camera. So here we have. We're gonna call it the pyramid. Looks like a pyramid, huh? Isn't it? Like the pyramid of Egypt. Pyramid, triangle. All right, here I'm going to use arrows. And please take a look very carefully. Very, very, very carefully. So, now let me get it down. Let me get it straight. Alrighty, okay, class, take a look. I'm placing this arrow between the yellow and the blue. You should be looking at the tip of the pen. You will see an arrow pointing from plants to the blue, yellow to the blue. This is the energy arrow, meaning to say the energy is coming from the plant to the consumers. These consumers get energy from the plant. And we said that whenever I eat cereal, I'm a consumer. Whenever I eat cereal, I only get 10% of the energy. The energy is coming from the plant. That's why the arrow is going to consumer. I am a consumer, you do too, you are too. Then when we eat plant-related products, we get 10% of the energy from the plant. Does it make sense? Let me refocus. Does it make sense? Tell me, timestamp 12:27. Or is it clear at this point? We still have a bit of a stretch to go. Let me check. Are we clear this time? All right, give me your level of understanding at this point. 5, I know it so well. 4, I'm good. 3, I have a question. Excellent. Timestamp 12:28. I must see your name. Excellent. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. Got 5 and 4. I only see of you 3. Don't worry. There's still 2 more practices. You should be able to cover up the missing link. Okay, if you still have, oh, I'm confused. But pay close attention, huh? Again, if you are disconnected, please make certain you turn back. We are recording this, as we said. You can watch this again as you wish. After this, I'm going to put it in the Google Meet. And the other recorded are in the Google Meet. You can watch it anytime. Especially this holiday, if you feel like, oh, I'm bored, if it's too long, go go to Google Classroom. Just click any one of those videos. All right, if you wish. So, let me continue. If you haven't responded yet, please do so. More opportunity to participate. So let me look at you do as well. The next one. So we know that predators can kill many consumers. So in this case, let me pick one, the one that I left on the ground. Okay. So similar process. This predator gets the energy from whoever they can kill. The arrow pointing from the consumer and the energy is coming from the consumer to a lion, for example. And these predators, lion, rattlesnake, etc., eagle, for instance, shark, for example, these predators get energy from the consumers. And they get only 10%. Always 10%. In other words, the consumer keep the 90%. The other consumer, which is a predator, only get 10%. That's why they may not be happy with a small piece of meat. They need to eat more, right? Just like for, let's say I told you a while ago, if it is for me, if I only have 5 pieces of Pringles, maybe I'm grumpy. Not enough energy. Kind of like doing a logic here. I need more. Okay? Are we clear so far? We are more than halfway through. Are we clear? Oh, excellent. Now, I hope those students who got 3, you have a few, it's better. I have another example. The same principle, the 10%. The arrow again is going away from the food source, going to the one who need it. But before that, in our lesson yesterday, we said that these organisms can die. Of course, they're not eternal. When they die, the body decomposes. Could you put the word decompose? We have that word, decomposer. At timestamp 1231, you should have the word decompose or decomposer. Timestamp 1231. All right, timestamp 1231, decompose. Right. So we have learned, let me get the picture again. Yeah. Decompose. So all these organisms that we have, oh, thanks Jasmine for returning. I saw you left and in a less than a minute you're back. I'm pretty sure it's a technical problem. Glad that you're able to get back. Okay, so these organisms, the plants, consumers, and predator, they die. And then when they die, as we said, their body will start decomposing because of decomposers. For instance, bacteria. And in our lesson in the past, we also included fungus as decomposers. Worms are decomposers. Lots of worms in a dead body of, let us say, a dead, what's that, deer, for instance, hit by a truck and left there for a long time. Oh, flies started flying. Oh, decomposers. And they will eat the maggots. Oh my God, those small, tiny, a worm like a caterpillar, but not a caterpillar. It's an immature stage of the fly. And then you got some bacteria there, and it still smells nasty. All right, the decomposers. Now, but we said yesterday that these bacteria, they're not pinicky. They're not so particular. They practically can eat anything they can, even a plant, depending on the bacteria, even an animal, depending on the bacteria. But the bottom line is, these bacteria or the decomposers, they want anything that is rotting, okay, for their meal for their energy. Let's say, if these all died out, let's refocus the camera. All right, if they all died out, so the bacteria are gonna be happy camper. Enjoy their life. Okay, I think I dropped. There you go. So this, could you tell me how many arrows now I have here? How many arrows pointing to bacteria? Type in the room. At timestamp 12:34. How many arrows do you see? 3. Everybody should put the 3 at timestamp 12:34. Yes. So here you have a dead plant to a bacteria. Consumers' energy when they die goes to bacteria. Predators' energy when they die and they start decomposing goes to bacteria. So this bacteria has a lot of choices. Just like you are in a buffet and you are not so particular on the food that you eat. You can go Chinese, you can go Mexican, you can go Indian, you can go Egyptian, you can go Iranian, for example, African, Ethiopian dish, for instance. You're not picky. Kind of like bacteria. They're not picky. They can eat anything they can if it is available and it's all right for them as long as it's decaying. All right? And how much energy do you think bacteria get from them then? How much energy do you think? Tell me. At timestamp 12:35. How much energy? Oh, sorry. It's upside down. How much energy? At timestamp 12:35. How much energy? Yes, 10%. At timestamp 12:35, you must have your name 10%. Yes, 10% as well. Yeah, it's all 10%. All right. Okay. So here, the plants give energy to consumer. They only get 10%. Consumer, when the predator eat them, they get energy 10% only. When they die, this bacteria, decomposers, they get the energy from any one of them. They only get 10%. Did I say it correctly in Spanish? Did I say correctly in Spanish? 10%. Ah, see, I speak a little bit of Spanish. All right, 10%. 10%. Right. Yeah, 10%. Now, okay, let me see before we move on to the next step. I'm looking at the clock. Enough time to move on to the next step, but make certain you tell me how your level of understanding. 5, I know it so well. I can tell anybody. 4, I'm good. 3, I have one question. 4 or 2 or 3. 2, hard concept to understand. And 1, teacher, you didn't do a good job in teaching me. Oh no, teacher, I'm not paying attention. No, I said, yeah, 4. Okay, good. I don't see 3. Yeah, I don't see 3 anymore. Let me see the same. Yeah. Oh, I see 1. Okay. I'm going to show you a short video clip. And this will tell you more about what I just said. But we'll be focusing on that 10% thing. If you have still confusion, pay close attention. If you are clear, pay even more attention for you to see what else he will see. Okay? Meaning, what else he will say, I would say. Or have you accomplished our goal, by the way? Have we accomplished the goal? Our goal is to make certain to see a connection, who's eating what, and how much are they getting, how much energy are they getting from what they eat. Yes, we did. I guess so. Right, let me stop the recording so we can move on to the last 2 to 3 minutes of the class activity.